occurred during the 60 Minutes program where CBS News did what they could to make Kamala Harris look more intelligent, less moronic, more coherent, aiding her performance on their show by deceptively editing it. And they've been called on to release the original transcripts and the original videos, and CBS News refuses to do it. We know that's going on, but what just occurred on Sunday with Speaker of the House Mike Johnson may be the final nail in the coffin of anything left of CBS News' journalistic integrity, if they have any. Take a look at this. Mike Johnson appeared on Face the Nation. That's Maureen Brennan, right? She's the woman who was the co-moderator of the J.D. Vance debate. You remember she tried to jump in and fact-check J.D. Vance, even though there weren't supposed to be any fact checks. And when J.D. Vance actually started telling the truth about illegal immigration under Kamala Harris, they cut off his microphone by pushing a button under the desk. Yeah, same woman. Well, she interviewed Mike Johnson, but Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, Republican, he was prepared. On the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see what CBS showed their viewers. On the right side of the screen is going to be a video that Mike Johnson set up in the studio that he recorded himself to show what his complete answers were. Take a look at this.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. And when I was there on the ground, and you should go, I mean, bring the cameras and talk to the people there. They'll tell you, don't take politicians' words for this or the administration's word. Talk to the people there on the ground. They had not been provided the resources almost 2 weeks out from the storm that they desperately needed. And when I was there, 13 days post the storm hitting that state, people are still being rescued. They're stuck in the higher elevations in the mountains because the roads are down and all the rest. So they need every available resource and all hands on deck. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
Wow. Now, that's really telling, not just that they edited so much out of the final show, the final presentation of Face the Nation, but what they edited. Mike Johnson was specifically talking about the real circumstances on the ground in North Carolina from Hurricane Helene, saying, I was just there. I talked to people. They said they haven't seen anyone. They haven't gotten any kind of federal response. Bring your cameras, show them, talk to them. CBS News didn't want their viewers to see or hear any of that. Gee, I wonder why.
You know that it is against the law for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. That's established law.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But here's the problem. There's a number of states that are not requiring proof of citizenship when illegals or non-citizens register to vote. We know that's happening.
But respectfully, Speaker,
everybody should want the law to be followed.
You know that it is against the law for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. That's established law.
Of course it is. Of course it is, but here's the problem. There's a number of states that are not requiring proof of citizenship when illegals or non-citizens register to vote. We know that's happening. Look, Glenn Youngkin in Virginia, I was going to say, he issued an executive order to clean up the voting rolls heading into the election. Less than 30 days out, a couple of days ago, the Biden administration, Department of Justice, Biden-Harris administration, sued the governor and the Commonwealth of Virginia to try to prevent them from cleaning up their voter rolls. See, that kind of thing creates a lot of doubt and concern in the minds of a lot of the American people. Why would they do that? Everybody should want the law to be followed.
Interesting. Again, what they choose to edit out. First, praise for Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia for following Virginia state law. There's a state law right now in the Commonwealth of Virginia that the voter rolls must be purged. They must be cleaned up of people who are dead, people who don't live in Virginia anymore, or people who are ineligible to vote, including non-citizens. By the way, that law goes back to 2006. Guess who was governor of Virginia and signed that bill into law? That would be current Senator Tim Kaine, the guy who was Hillary Clinton's running mate. Yeah, non-citizens. And how do they know they're non-citizens? Because they literally, when registering to vote, said, I'm not a citizen. But somehow they were still able to register to vote. Now, CBS News wanted that information edited out. They didn't want their viewers to know that thousands of non-citizens were registered to vote in Virginia, and the governor there is now working to get them off the voter rolls. Why? Why would CBS News not want their viewers to get that information? What's the point of editing that out?
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. It's not me undermining it. It's the actions of the Biden-Harris administration in some of these states. Non-citizens are not allowed to vote under federal law.
So if your issue is with certain governors, shouldn't you be talking to them?
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. It's not me undermining it. It's the actions of the Biden-Harris administration in some of these states. Non-citizens are not allowed to vote under federal law. But the states have prohibited. We passed the SAVE Act, in the House. The SAVE Act says you've got to have proof of citizenship before you register to vote. And Chuck Schumer and the Democrats blocked that in the Senate. We could have prevented this. The questions that people have about that. But the Democrats chose not to. They opened the border wide. A lot of people theorize that was so that they could have non-citizens to vote. These are realities, Margaret. I wish it weren't true, but that's the concern that people have. And in Wisconsin, for example, some of the counties are correct, but we have to make sure the law is followed, and that is the whole point. That has always been the whole point of the SAVE Act and all the measures that we've tried to ensure. I believe, by my count, we have about 16 million illegal aliens in the country since Mayorkas and Harris and Biden opened the border wide. And because of that, there's concern, because those people are distributed all around the country, as you know. There's concern some of those people will try to participate in the elections. Look, some of our House races, I believe the Republicans are going to win the House, or the House majority, win the Senate and the White House. But in some of our House races, I have a colleague who was elected by 6 votes in 2020. Some of these are decided by hundreds or a few thousands of votes. So if you have non-citizens participating against the law, and you have no mechanism in some states to stop it, that is the root of so much of the concern. And of course, in California, they have ballot harvesting, right? Ballot harvesting is notorious for opening the door for fraud. In Wisconsin, they're going to put, in some counties, unmanned ballot boxes in public parks again.
All right, so there's 2 aspects of this story, and my God, kudos to Speaker of the House Mike Johnson for not only being prepared, setting this up the way he did, but then after seeing the way the show misrepresented him and edited him and hacked him and deceptively edited this interview, he decided to put it all out there. He released this morning on social media, and it's absolutely brilliant. He's also said that he will never sit for a recorded interview with CBS News. I think Republicans should go one step further. I think they should boycott the network completely until they apologize and make amends for this and show the full interview with Mike Johnson. Until they actually release the full interview from 60 Minutes, no Republican should show up on CBS News ever again. Forget about